Space, the final frontier. Perhaps one day, we will venture out into the unknown, ready to explore and bond with other alien life. Or some asshole alien race named the Ganglion will blow the Earth up, and only Los Angeles makes it out onto a planet where everything wants them dead. Yeah, that works too, I guess. You take the role of an amnesiac who managed to escape massive amounts of death, and you're pretty much stranded out on Mira, at least until you are eventually found by one of the few humans around named Elma. She eventually brings you to New Los Angeles, the last city and area filled with humans in this entire universe. From here, you are recruited into Blade, an organization in New Los Angeles made to take care of problems that threaten the city, as well as explore and fight within the planet Mira. And if you thought giant dinosaurs were the biggest trouble, the Ganglion, the very alien race that blew up Earth, is back to finish the job of killing you. While the plot isn't bad, it takes a long time for it to really get going, which serves as a detriment. Another weakness of the plot was basically Elma herself, as she basically feels like the protagonist, and you are more or less just there to make her look cool. Though really, I think she just needs an eye patch for that. The main sin of the story is that it's not really all that personal, aside from Earth blowing up. Your choices matter very little, and there's little to no development for your character, at least in the main plot. The side quest stories are much improved, however, actually bringing some interesting ideas and problems for the different races. Even some quests have later consequences for future ones, making them all the more enjoyable and give something the main plot really lacks. More importantly for the side quest, humanity's xenophobia is kinda understandable in some cases, considering, well, aliens kinda blew up Earth. The affinity quests are also well done in most parts as well, which made me like the side characters more than the main ones as they delve deeper into backstories and their current troubles. My only gripe is that there are just way too many human characters as opposed to aliens. I feel that would have been more interesting, maybe showing more unique movesets with the aliens. But regardless of that little problem, the narrative remains strong enough to warrant my interest. But let's face it, the real star are the giant freaking robots. It's even on the freaking cover.
I honestly think I could live forever in Eskel's arms.
Did I mention she's my favorite character? If you played Xenoblade Chronicles, you probably already have kind of a good firm grasp on the battle system. If not, it's sorta easy to get into, as you possess a long and close range weapon you can switch on the fly, and a list of arts to use, though consumable items like potions aren't exactly present, save for specific items. Battles take place in real time, relying on positioning yourself and blowing up appendages, as well as timing skills, as there is now a secondary cooldown that can boost your attack and add in other neat effects. Appendix strikes though felt more as kind of an aesthetic thing as opposed to impacting gameplay, though it does help in trying to gain certain items. You also need to save up TP to pull off even stronger attacks and revive others. You can not only customize each character, but you can change your own class to suit the situation. And because of how quickly you can gain these skills and weaponry, it's encouraged to experiment and find a playstyle more suitable to you. This includes armor, which has varying resistances, so you can either fight with a complete set and look presentable, or fight while looking like an action figure that someone made from spare parts. The world is also massive, with creatures constantly varying in size and power all over the place. Traveling can get chaotic though if you aren't following the map, and the gamepad has things mostly organized. You can even fast travel to areas or search for certain things, like other tyrants, treasure, or even set up probes to earn more money in Marinia. It's a lot to take in, I know, which is why first and foremost, you gotta read the manual, which is digital in this case. I know, not the thing you want to hear, but the game will hardly teach you a majority of this stuff. I didn't know how to properly use TP, for instance, until much later. Quests are much easier, thankfully, as many people are just easy to identify and tend to stay in one spot. The addition of a board to organize all the quests, even if given at random sometimes, is also a huge improvement from the original. You still need to do some searching though, but thanks to the maps, it's much more user-friendly. Better than having to wait for a damn ice cabbage. Your environment is also a factor to consider, as not every enemy will come for your blood. While a very neat idea of an enemy blending into the background, it also makes some fights needless and repetitive, mainly when you're already on a much higher level. Fortunately, you can run for most encounters, though some will likely leave you dead despite being far away from the enemy. This is more frustrating when you accidentally trigger a fight with something far stronger than you and get your skull wrecked in the process. There's only so much time the insurance company will cover you after all. And yes, let's discuss the main draw of the game, giant robots, aka the Skells. The very moment the developer said we could have these, I was hooked. The main drawback is that you won't get these until you beat enough story missions, about 20 to 30 hours in, and even after that point you won't be able to fly until you beat another quest after Chapter 9. The Skells, however, offer a different way to approach the game. For now you can traverse the large world faster and somewhat safer, and equip weapons that not only make the suit more powerful, but offer different arts as well. With so much customizing of the weapons and putting guns and swords everywhere, I think 90s kid from Linkara's show would have a freaking heart attack. Then there's the online mode, which is standard no matter what, unless you can't connect, in which case the game decides to put this small yet glaring offline thingy at the top left corner. It just stares at you, mocking you. Stop mocking me! The online portion is still good to have for reward tickets, which can make some gathering quests much easier, or if you just want to build certain weapons and gear. The multiplayer itself boils down to two things. You can recruit people's characters and vice versa, netting you rewards, or you can actually work with other players in certain special missions, so if you are hoping to work cooperatively with a buddy in the story, no dice here, though the social notifications can get annoying as well. Also, don't press L and A at the same time. I just saved you a headache. Other than that, this all doesn't feel too intrusive, and you can always turn this stuff off. Plus, when you choose to continue from a save, you can choose which sections you want to start in. Like if you just want to focus on the story, or you want to focus on the multiplayer, or if you just want to play with your friends. Quite frankly, there's a lot of stuff to learn in the manual and in the game that covering everything would kind of defeat the purpose of a quick review. Plus, there's just massive amounts of spoilers, so this is all the information I can divulge at the moment. The final verdict is... have a lot of patience. Believe me, I love this game, but goddammit, it requires a lot of waiting and patience for things to really get going. If you aren't a fan of that stuff, you're gonna be suffering for a while. I nearly rage quit right before getting my Skell too. This is a game that offers you so much right away, and then keeps giving it to you when you earn it. The beginning really does feel more like work, but unlike a certain other series, it doesn't disappoint, and I'm loving every minute of it now. Once again, thank you very much for checking out my channel. If you want to, you can check out another quick review on your left with Dark Sector, yet another game I wished was good, but failed miserably. Or if you prefer something else, you can catch another episode of Saviors of the Tale, featuring Lana from Hyrule Warriors. As always, be sure to like and subscribe, and don't feel afraid to comment either. And of course, share with your friends if you enjoyed this video. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to go flying with my giant robot again. Also, 2015.